Hi, and welcome to Cuisine Secrets. I'm Julie Hardigan. Today we're going to do a little tasting tour of a Scandinavian country that's near and dear to my heart, Sweden. When I visited a few years back and sampled all of the local specialties, I seriously fell in love with Swedish food culture. Everything from their plethora of fresh fish to their iconic gravlax and of course their spirit Aquavit. When we come back, we're going to go speak with an expert on Swedish cuisine. You are seriously in for a treat with this episode.
How can you save time and money when you shop? Get into the habit of buying your store's store brands. You get the same quality as national brands and save at the cash register. No apps, no coupons, just money in your pocket. Give store brands a try and smile your way through the supermarket.
Welcome back. I'm so excited to go speak with Chef Emma Bengtsson of Aquavit restaurant. So Chef Emma was not only born, raised, and trained in Sweden, she is the first female Swedish chef to earn 2 prestigious Michelin Stars for her work. And she's actually only the second American-based female chef to do so. Under her helm, the famous New York City restaurant Aquavit has risen to even more acclaim. Thank you so much for having us.
Well, thank you for coming.
For those at home who haven't had Swedish cuisine yet, can you fill us in a little bit about what defines it and what they would expect to taste if they haven't had it?
All right, so I think in general, looking at Swedish cuisine, I would say it's about preservation, about survival, or that's where all our techniques come from. Sweden is not only a very long country, so it has a lot of different temperature and seasonalities, obviously, but it's also about having those few months of summer where everything grows, and then you go into completely black winters with nothing. And the further up north you get, it gets even harder. So Swedish cuisine, I would say, you have all these base fundamentals of cooking. So brining, curing, pickling, smoking, everything you can think of to take fresh ingredients and preserve them for winter, which resulted in a very salty, heavy cuisine. And I think that's something that's very unique and stands out. We do still today use a lot of salt in our cooking, and that's something that is very different and sometimes hard to figure out. I love it, but I'm born and raised with it, so it's
so
a
do
little
I.
bit different.
I enjoy salt, yeah.
So, but I think that, and also the ability to work with seasons. We use what we can get at the moment, and we use local. This new movement of farm to table is it's always been there. So I'm glad to see that actually being incorporated around the world even more on the big city scale.
So where would you say that the food influences come from? You know, every region has other regions that kind of influenced how they cooked and what ingredients were available.
That takes back to, again, Sweden being such a long country, right? So it's such a different, not only cooking, but ingredients. You have the south where you have all the grains, the big fields. West Coast is just seafood and salty oceans where you get all of that beauty coming in. And then Stockholm, you have not just the countryside where you have a lot of farms and wild, but you also have the other side of the ocean where you get a different catch of fishes. And then, of course, up north where you have all the game, the wild, the birds, all of that coming as well. So I think if you want to go on a culinary adventure, going from north to south in Sweden, you will see everything you can think under the moon. So it's quite of an amazing country, actually.
So can you tell all of us a little bit about some specific key ingredients that you use here a lot at the restaurant and that are indicative of Swedish cuisine, and definitely all about the tradition of Aquavit too?
Sure. So I think what I put up in front of us are some of the most traditional things and also my favorite things to eat. our gravlax, our salmon, is definitely something you will see in all Swedish cuisine all over the world. It's a little bit different than the ones you can find that's called lox.
Right.
So what we use is a 50-50 mix of sugar and salt,
Okay.
dill, white pepper, and it's very slowly cured. So it's been cured for 3 days,
Okay.
and then we dry it up a little bit for 1 day. So it's a very slow process to cook it, and it creates that mild flavor to it.
Right.
Served with the hovmästar sauce, which is traditionally coffee, dill, mustard, and then
Coffee?
yeah.
Oh,
right.
cool. Okay.
We love our coffee.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not surprised it ended up in a sauce.
That's fun. Yeah. No, it's interesting with the dill and the mustard. Yeah.
So it creates a good smooth contrast to the gravlax. And then we have our herring. There's no Swedish cuisine without our herring.
Right.
We make them all in-house. Right now we're running 3 of them. So we have a traditional glass blower, which is just infused with different kind of spices like allspice, pepper, dill, horseradish. So it's very neutral. We have our matjes herring, which is a virgin herring. This one we are actually taking from straight from Sweden, from a little island called Klädesholmen.
Okay.
Their matjes herring is out of this world. There's nowhere on the planet you can find as good of a herring as they have.
Oh, wow.
So I don't alter that anything. It comes perfect the way they are. They're incredible. Our last one is mustard, also one of my favorites. And then during our Easter and Christmas and all of that, we do up to 20 different herrings.
Wow.
So, which is really fun because every year we come up with a new one. So you never know. There's endless of possibilities.
Sure.
I know one of the favorite one in Sweden is curry,
Oh, interesting.
which you wouldn't maybe consider being
Yeah.
a Swedish thing,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's a bestseller.
No, curry and fish go so well together. I
yeah,
can see that
so
too. I love the
it's
mustard
cool.
with fish too. I think it's
That's
great.
really nice. And then with our herring, we always eat cheese. So we're bringing cheese from Sweden. And then our skagen, which I love.
Can you describe skagen for those at home
Yeah,
who haven't tried
sure.
it? Yeah.
So it's a shrimp salad. We actually are importing our shrimps from the Atlantic. So these are coming from the cold, really, really cold waters.
Okay.
So they're super small
Okay.
and very naturally salty. They get boiled already on the boats.
Right.
So we've turned that with dill, lemon juice, and mayo. Very simple. We top it up with a caviar that we're taking from Sweden as well. It's called bleakro or löjrom. Served on a toast. So we toasted some brioche, and then you have a lemon. And then last but not least, we love our pizzas in Sweden.
Also not something that you would think about, right?
Right? I think they actually voted pizza to be our national dish a couple of years ago.
Really?
Meatball got kicked out the window.
Oh, poor
So
Swedish
now it's
meatballs.
pizza. But we wanted to make a little bit of our own version.
Right.
And so we have a rye bottom instead. We have a mustard, potatoes, isterband, which is a Swedish barley fermented sausage.
Okay.
And then we're topping it off with red onions and then a cheese sauce where we're also utilizing the Priest cheese.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
So hopefully this will hit the mark.
Oh,
for the-
absolutely. Yeah, it's such a great representation of all of the different influences and all of the key flavors. So, okay, another one that I would love to share with people at home is the tradition and culture of Aquavit, the namesake of your restaurant and what we have in front of us. And can you tell us how it's traditionally flavored and then some of the fun things you're doing with it?
All right, so traditionally we're also using spices. Caraway, anise, fennel, those were the first spices that we are using in it. And then throughout the years it's been evolving. Everything from elderflowers to, I think we have a mango chili on the menu. So
how many different flavors of Aquavit do you have?
Around
year
40,
round?
I
Around
think.
40, wow.
So,
and it's traditionally an after dinner drink or an aperitif, like
Oh,
pre-dinner or all anytime?
all time of the day. Anytime you can think of, you can drink Aquavit. But it's great. I love it.
Thank you so much for having us, Chef Emma. Seriously, it's been a pleasure. Yeah, I'm so glad we got to share this special culture and your beautiful food with everybody.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, we'll do a little quick.
All right, it's that time of the day.
It's that time. Cheers.
Cheers. Skål.
Cheers. Skål.
Skål.
Okay, how beautiful were all of those dishes that Chef Emma showed us. So today I'm going to show you how to make an iconic one at home. It's very easy to do. It's a smörgås. So a smörgås is an open-faced sandwich dating back to the 1400s, and believe it or not, the thick slabs of bread were actually used as plates. Possibly the most famous of these is the Räksmörgås, or an open-faced shrimp sandwich found all throughout Sweden. I'm gonna show you how easy it is to make this healthy, delicious, beautiful sandwich at home. It's a favorite of mine, and I'm sure it's going to become a favorite of yours too. So let's start with the bread. Traditionally in Sweden, it's something like a dark rye, or what I have here, more like a pumpernickel, and the thicker the better. And if you like, you can toast it or leave it untoasted, it's up to you. So you're gonna need about a pound of shrimp. We're gonna make these sandwiches piled really high, just like they are in Sweden. I like to use medium-sized shrimp, and you can buy them either pre-cooked in your supermarket or steamed. You can poach them or steam them yourself. Or another really easy hack, and something that I always love to do at home, is just to keep frozen shrimp on hand. And it's so easy to defrost them. You just take out what you need, put it in a colander like this, and just run it under some cool water in the kitchen sink, and they'll defrost in no time. Now the other thing, make sure you remove the tails off of the shrimp to make it a lot easier for people to eat. I mean, it's kind of the worst, right? When you're eating something like a yummy sandwich or a salad, you have to remember to take the shrimp out, take off the tails. So we're just gonna pull them all off right up front. Okay, next we're gonna make a really delicious dressing that we're going to use to toss the shrimp in. We're gonna spread some on our bread, and we're gonna use it for a garnish too. So it's often made with either mayonnaise or creme fraiche. I'm actually gonna go half and half on that today with a half a cup of mayonnaise and then half a cup of creme fraiche. It's going to kind of balance it out and give it a creaminess and a tartness. And by the way, if you wanted to lighten this up, you could use light mayo and something like light yogurt or fat-free yogurt instead of the creme fraiche. So half a cup of each. And then to season it, we're going to use 3 things that go so well with shrimp and really all seafood. Some fresh dill, some lemon zest and lemon juice, and some minced red onion. So we'll add our lemon zest. And you're wondering maybe at home why I'm using lemon zest. I love it because it adds this bright lemony flavor without making things too watery or too tart. And it's so easy to do. You just take a fine grater like this, take your lemon, and we have our lemon juice, minced onion for some sharpness. You could use a shallot here too if you wanted. And then some finely chopped dill. Okay, don't forget the salt and pepper. It just needs a little pinch of each. You can do it to taste. So now we're just gonna season our shrimp with just a little bit of the sauce. We don't want it too gloppy. It's really just to add a little bit of flavor. Just put it in a bowl and toss it with some tongs. Okay, in fact, shrimp sandwiches like this are so popular in Swedish culture that there's even a colloquialism or like a fun little saying about them. It goes, glida in pa and rakmaka, which basically means to glide in on a shrimp sandwich or to get a free ride or get the easy way out. Okay, next we're gonna prep all the different layers and components to our Räksmörgås, which is one of the most fun parts about them as far as I'm concerned, all the colors and contrasts and textures. So we'll start with a bed of lettuce. I like to use like butterhead or Boston lettuce like this. They just have nice delicate leaves that are great for sandwiches like this. You can just peel them off and give them a quick rinse. Another key component is actually hard-boiled egg, and time saver, you can just buy the pre-hard-boiled eggs at your supermarket. I do it all the time, or you can make your own. And you just want to slice them thinly so that you can use them. I'll show you how to assemble the sandwich. Then we're gonna have some more minced red onion to use for a garnish, but 2 other traditional vegetables that are included are some thinly sliced cucumber. I like to use English cucumber. They usually are wrapped in plastic in the produce section of the supermarket. I love them because they just have less seeds than a regular cucumber does, so they're not as wet, and the skin is so delicate you don't even need to peel it. You're just gonna go for like a nice thin slice like that. And then finally, some cherry tomatoes. You could use grape tomatoes. You could also use a plum tomato, but I just really like these for the little burst of flavor and color they give. You just slice them in half like this. I've also seen when I was in Sweden, sometimes they put things like radish on there, or pea shoots, or avocado even, so you can feel free to get creative and add other things to your Räksmörgås if you want. Okay, so here's how easy it is to put one together. First, you're gonna spread some of your dressing on the bread. You can go as heavy or as light as you like, but it is going to add really great flavor. We're going to put on our lettuce leaves and some slices of cucumber and hard-boiled egg. You want this to be heaping and really beautiful with lots of colors and textures everywhere. Okay, next we'll add our shrimp. Then we'll add some of our cherry tomatoes, just on the outsides. Then we will garnish the top with a little bit more dressing, just to finish everything off, as well as some extra minced red onion like we had in our dressing, just for color. And of course, you've got to have some fresh dill. Fresh herbs are key, really, to making any dish look more beautiful and have great flavor, and definitely here. So there you have it. How easy was that? A beautiful Räksmörgås, just like in Sweden. It's as easy as gliding in on a shrimp sandwich. I hope you try this recipe at home and that you love it as much as I do. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Julie Hartigan. Be sure to subscribe to our Store Brands USA YouTube channel below, and I'll see you next time for another episode of Cuisine Secrets.